I'm MCCANN. I'm the archivist in Louth County Archives, which is based in the old jail in the RD Road, Dundalk. And for our Crunnion the Nogue project, we wanted to collaborate with a local artist who would work with a small group of young people on an Archives into Art project. And we wanted to present the young people, to invite them to explore and investigate 4 fascinating archival pieces with artist Miriam Fox, who would inspire them to create an exciting link with journeys, places or people. The goal of the project is to create new artwork using the theme from roots to roots, and we hope that the young people will be able to create a link between the archives and the art by interweaving history with the modern day, and even with the current coronavirus pandemic that we find ourselves in. And hopefully they will create a new artwork that will bring the archives alive.
Hello, my name is Miriam Fox and I'm an ink pen artist mainly, and my main interest is in drawing historic buildings, and I use a lot of the archives for references for my drawings. So we've got a choice of 4 topics here, and I'm just going to brief for the students to see if we can just interest them in each topic. You might like to choose this project. It's a map showing a survey of RD in 1677. What I have initially done is to put the picture of the map and then see where that leads you, to give you ideas. This is just purely to give you ideas for each of your creative pieces that you're going to produce. In this second piece relates to Louth County Jail, built around 1845 to 53. What's very interesting as well, we have an autograph book, and it's from 1918 and compiled by Patrick Flynn from Key Street, Dundalk. I've got the prisoners to sign it, maybe do a little sketch, a drawing in it, or even relating to this time we're in now. Our next project piece is the post office plan, dating back to 1890, and as you can see, magnificent drawing, very elaborate building. You might be interested in recreating the building, to draw it, or to maybe draw your own post office, or go on another theme or route. I'm giving you less ideas because I want you to use your imagination here. Our next project here is a photograph of a tricycle race taking part in Crow Street, Dundalk in 1957. So you can see the children on the tricycles. Sit, look at the photo, see what themes come from it. Maybe it's a theme of journey, how the tricycle changed from that 3-wheel to modern day. It might be a roadway, a pathway theme, and taking our journey of bicycles into the present day, maybe moving to electric bicycles. Just whatever you get artistically inspired from this photo. Under 2 years ago, when I was on holiday in Spain, I just literally started doodling with little permanent marker pens on stones. I'm not trained as an artist, I didn't go to any art classes. So I started doing little silhouettes for fun and giving them to people that were walking their dogs on the beach. Then little cars and all sorts. So people started asking me would I actually do their dog or cat portrait on a stone, which I did. So then I started doing some pencil drawings. So my first pencil drawing actually was one of my sons. And then for some fun, I put the pencil drawings of my other son on cushions. You could put it on t-shirts. So this is all art. You can interpret art in any way. This was given to me. This is art, you know, it's a mini me. So I didn't know what angle I was going, and I was just having fun drawing on stones, then doing pencil drawings. And then in November, before Christmas, I was asked to draw the 4 courts, and then that got me into, when I did my first building drawing, that I did a print and learned all about different types of print and giclée prints, and just went from strength to strength. I just kept drawing my old buildings ever since, and people commissioned me to draw. So from no experience of drawing, from teaching yoga for 25 years, to be surrounded by all my art, it's in everybody. You know, everybody should try it. So whether it's on stones, whether it's paper, pencil, you turn your art into an object, put it onto t-shirts, print it. You just don't know where it ends up. But all I know is I found where I'm happy drawing archival old buildings, and I come out here every morning and I have my little sketch. My next plan is Hatch Castle, and I'll just sit here with all my little ink pens drawing. So however you want to interpret the project, whichever subject you pick, it might be out of material, you might make something, it could be pencil, it could be stone. I want you to interpret what is your art, and choose any of the subjects and turn that archival subject into your art, because as you can see, art can take many forms. It's wonderful to be here today with the finished projects, and as you can see by looking at them, how they've all used different media, different techniques, and interpreting the jail and what that brought about to this particular student. So it's just fantastic, all the ideas that's going on in here. And another one then, how they are so different but the same subjects chosen, even the use of a typewriter and the perspective of the prison cell, and just cutting out here to make little bars. So one subject, but so diverse. It's just amazing. The stamps, at first when I seen the stamps, I thought, wow, such a collection of stamps. And it's only when you look more at it how you can see that this post office one, it represents the post office, even down to the circular window and the windows here, the chimneys. The more you look, the more you see the post office. And then we had 2 that chose the project of the tricycle, and so diverse as well, and so much different artistic techniques. Because as we were saying, we didn't want to limit anyone into what is art and what materials you could use. So we've got with the tricycle, the vision of the little girl in the tricycle picture, of maybe the grandmother remembering the tricycle race. So all of this being brought into one picture. It was nice that everybody just used what materials they had at home and at hand, and not going out buying specific things, and using all materials that we have around. So such diversity around is just blown away with this project. Certainly Lorraine and myself were just stunned with all the interpretations of the project. So fantastic, well done, and big clap to all the students, and I'm sure you'll be listening to them explaining in more depth what is going on in each picture that they've created here.
Hi, my name is Adam O'Donoghue, and I did this piece based on the autographs and poetry of prisoners in the Dundalk prison in 1918. I was drawn to this piece just because of the unique nature of the prison and how it wasn't typical, and definitely the memos of the prisoners really drove me to the piece. The way I went about creating it was, first I started with the centerpiece here, which I just did a kind of box, and I filled it with everything that I thought would be in a prison. Especially, it was very bare bones essentials, because that's how it was described in the piece. And then I added the character in the center, who seems to be kind of contemplating, and then I used a scalpel to cut out the piece and put it on top of this sheet, which I typed out all of the anecdotes of the prisoners. And I glued that on top, and it has all the poetry that was written by the prisoners in 1918, and then I mounted it on the black card. I think we can all relate to this at the moment because of the pandemic going on. We all kind of feel imprisoned and also very contemplational. We're always thinking of new things and creating more, just like the prisoners had with their poetry when they were in such a dire situation in prison. And I think everyone is going to come out of this changed. And I think they definitely came out of the prison changed, judging by what they wrote. It was a great experience to get to kind of come up with something out of nothing, out of this very bare minimal, very old, hard to relate to piece, and then relate to it through art.
Hi, my name is MULHOLLAND. I'm 16 years old. What inspired me about the photograph was like the amount of like detail in it and like the different materials you'll be able to use for it. So I went to explore this by using different sort of metals and different materials that you'd find in like bikes. Because I used to be like obsessed with bikes when I was younger, so the fact of going and seeing like a young girl being so happy in a time where like there was so many people and crowds and that, it took me way back when I was younger. The process of creating the piece, I had to go and get like cut out a circle of copper and draw like a design at the back of it and just go in to mark it in. And then I had to go and strip some copper wire and go and drill a few holes in it and just do like some work in it. I went and drew like a print of the tricycle around at the back and used a hammer and chisel, and then drilled a few holes here and used some copper wire to go and basically sew it into the tire. I really enjoyed it because I was practically raised going and doing art and making different sorts of crafts. So actually going hands stuck in and getting all these different materials and trying so many different tools was just a new experience for me. It gave me like kind of more meaning and things to do, because like instead of actually just like sitting around and not knowing what to do, I actually had like something to focus on. Yeah, I really miss like going and actually being able to properly see people or give a simple handshake or hug. So yeah.
Hi, my name is GRAINNE, and I did my artwork on the Dundalk Post Office, the original plans from 1890. I chose this project because I was very interested in how the stamps have changed throughout the years and also the post. It's very interesting to see what it was like back then to compare it to now in the 21st century. I chose the stamps because I collected them throughout the years. They represent the building very well because they're a nice rectangular shape, so they fit in well. So I did a bit of sketching first. I started to put down some stamps. I put them into different sections. As here we have the roof. I put spiders in it because they'd be in the roof, and then stained glass, and also birds are all on the roof. And for the windows I have flowers so that we can see they're both windows. And this here door is a 1916 Easter Rising door, and this door is deers, and this is crabs, all national animals of Ireland. Then in the background I just have a collage of all the different ones representing Ireland. I really enjoyed the process and seeing all the research on the post office as well, and seeing how it's changed throughout the year, and also how not only in Dundalk but how the GPOs changed from back then. During COVID, it's very hard to connect with people because we can't see them in person, but sending letters is great, and the letters really help you out.
Hi, I'm HAZEL MULHOLLAND. I'm 18 years old. I have a background in speech and drama and also a background in poetry, so the poem really stood out to me as something I could resonate with. So when I read the poem, I was able to clearly visualize the scene that I ended up making of someone just yearning for their past life, being trapped and unable to go back to somewhere that's familiar, somewhere that's safe for them. So I wanted the jail to take up 2/3 of the page to show this is the dominant scene, this is where he is now. And then on the last third of it, I wanted to have his fantasy world. In the poem, he references Kerry and Tralee, so I tried to capture the Kerry Mountains in the background and also the Kerry crest on his hat. Since quarantine, because I live in a rural area, I haven't been able to go out anywhere. I've just been stuck in one small bungalow the whole time. And my next neighbor is like a mile down the road. So interacting with people has been pretty scarce for the last 3 months. So I was just imagining this person trapped in this really small room, not being able to talk to anyone. So I really wanted to kind of capture that in piece. I was really happy with the piece when I finished. I think that the medias work together well, and overall I'm just really happy with how it turned out.
Hi, I'm Sarah MCCANN, and I chose the tricycle race as my art piece for this. What chose me to do the picture, I think, is like the whole like time zone of the like thing. I think it's in 1957 or something like that. That photo was taken in, and I know it inspired me because like I guess it's like this whole thought process of my own grandmother being alive at that, and she remembers being there. And like today, that she's like, she's, you know, grown and she's aged and that kind of stuff. So I guess it's like, it was very, very fascinating and very eye-catching from the very beginning to me. My process, like, to do this picture, I guess, was like the whole thing of like, how can I interpret to be something for that young girl? Because she probably won the race. So it's like, what, like, how she felt maybe, or like maybe that helped her and her, like maybe like it changed her life maybe, or maybe it could have just helped her, or maybe it made her more confidence or something like that. I want to like actually get the young girl, so like I then started like, okay, I want to look at faces, and then obviously I use like pencil, and first I use pencil for this side, and then I use like pen again to highlight, because like I thought pen would be very interesting because it kind of gives like a bit of like detail into it and a bit like of more like depth into it as well. Like they are the same person, because obviously it's the young girl from the photo, it's them, and she's just aged. Like it's basically her experience. Like obviously she's aged and she's grown, and she's not the same little girl that she was in the photo, kind of thing. So I like just doing art anyway, but like I really did enjoy this kind of piece because it's not something that I would normally do, like mush faces in together. So yeah, no, it was very, very fun to do. And like during COVID, like 19, like it's given me like a lot of more time, because obviously it made me sit down and like it gave me inspiration to do something, because like I haven't been passionate in like kind of a long time, so it was actually really cool.
And this project has really brought something very positive out of the COVID and out of our isolation. You can just see like 100% the effort and the work has gone into each project. And I don't think maybe we would have seen such results if we hadn't have been maybe restricted in this isolation at this point in time. And it's something that we'll never forget. It's really lovely to have all these pieces and to have them video recorded as well for looking back at.